I made it. Hold on. Oh, that was from Instagram. I made it. I'm a little bit late, 2 minutes, but I made it, you guys. I was rushing home. Hey, if this is your first time tuning into Tea Time with Tia, I am Tia Williams. I created Tea Time with Tia as a platform for me to empower you to be free as I spill my tea. I share my testimonies on how I overcame real life situations using kingdom principles. What are kingdom principles, you ask? They're simply God's way of doing things. Principles work for anyone, anywhere, anytime, and under any circumstances. Come on, isn't that good news? I think it's excellent news. I'm hyped, you guys, because I am excited about teaching on today's Tea Time with Tia topic. And let the drum roll. It is In God We Trust. And so God wants me to ask you, so do you? Do you trust in God? This is my last week of teaching. I taught on it last week. God asked me to spend 2 weeks ministering to you guys and teaching you on putting your trust in God. Come on, I think that this is so timely for the times that we are in right now with everything that's going on, specifically the layoffs. This is like a hot topic. This is what is really have people kind of off. This is what is affecting people. But hey, rest your mind. Come and get this word that's going to transform your life. I'm going to teach you the principles that I used when I was in your very same shoes. I'm telling you, this is not the end of the world. This is just the beginning. Oh, I know what it looks like. Hey, but we're going to talk about it. I'm going to hit every fear, every question, every doubt that you may have. Come on, just come, sit down, rest, rest at the feet of the word today. Look, I am proven. I am capable of teaching this lesson. I have done the work. I have practiced these principles. I have implemented these things in my life. And I promise you, you guys, it works. It works if you allow it to work. This message is for those who have ears to hear. And on my way home, I had to, drop my vehicle off. But on my way home, I feel led. I want to stick to two topics, right? Trusting when it comes to relationships and also understanding what trust mean. I really do not believe that most people have an understanding. I talked about it last week when I shared with you about the trust fall. And if you did not watch it, you can go watch it, but I'll talk about it again this week because I want to stay there. I want to free you. I want to deliver you. I want to give you some understanding. Come on. I want to give you some understanding so that you can apply these principles with confidence, that you'll be able to trust God with confidence. Okay, so let's look at some definitions. Oh, you guys, tonight at 7 p.m., I am tag teaming with the Glay Adams. I mean, this chick is phenomenal. She's a workout queen. And so I am teaming up with her. I am bringing Tia's Closet to her pop up, and I am going to bring the drip while she make us drip. This is a great workout, you guys. You won't be disappointed. It's just $10. Let me see if I can bring up the address, but it's at Fitness Motivators, and it's off of Central Avenue. They classify that as Hyattsville, Maryland, but us Washingtonians, DMV people, it's not the Hyattsville that we know of. It's like right off, not far from Hampton Mall, like heading towards Addison Road. It's that little shopping center right in between there, towards the right if you're headed to DC. Fitness Motivator, let me see, it's either 7860 Central Avenue or 7680. But let me pull up the address real quick. It's 7860 Central Avenue, 7 o'clock p.m. sharp. The fee is only $10. $10. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. $10, and then you can shop with Tia's Closet. This piece everything that I wear is a part of Tia's Closet. But this piece right here is a part of Tia's Closet. I paired it with some red sweatpants, my baseball hat, threw on a red lip. I'm telling you, we are not rolling out of the bed, doing our errands. We're going to go out looking cute and comfortable and affordable. I pride myself on bringing you guys affordable fashion. I'm telling you, that just looks elevated. Maybe that's why I like the bling. It just does something, to your everyday wear. So come out and support Glay. Come out and support Tia's Closet. If you're not doing anything, come out. We would love to see you. Okay, and I have some new inventory. All right, but back to the word. This Tea Time with Tia is sponsored by Tia's Closet. I'm so silly. Okay, let's get into it. We can keep this up. Okay, let's go to some definitions. I want to go to trust. Let's define trust. Let's see what the word trust really means, right? Okay. To convey a sense of reliance and confidence in God's character. Trust is to convey a sense of reliance and confidence in God's character, promises, and guidance, rather than in human beings or worldly things. Rather than in human beings or worldly things, like money, like your job, like your education, like your car, anything that you are putting your trust in over God. Come on. Over any human beings. We do not put our trust in human beings. We put our trust in God. That is not to say that we can't trust people, but we don't put our trust in them. You understand what I'm saying? We can trust people. I trust my best friend. I trust her. I trust her consistency. I trust her faithfulness. I trust her loyalty. Have she disappointed me at some point? Sure. Have I disappointed her at some point? Sure. Right? But we put our trust in God because he can never disappoint us. You see the difference? We can trust, but we don't put our trust in human beings. Come on. I'm going to give you another definition. And I'm not sure, again, if I wrote this down, but it was the one with a heavy reliance on. We rely on. We depend on. Maybe I'll find that as I go through my notes, but let me give you another definition. Trust is confidence, a reliance, or resting of the mind on the integrity, the veracity, the justice, the friendship, or other sound principles. This is God. You can be confident, you can rely, you can rest in your mind. That means you can have perfect peace in the middle of a storm. That's what trust is. To rest in the middle of a storm. To rest when it looks like everything is falling apart or falling to pieces. To rest when your plans don't go as you thought they were, to rest even when you thought you were going to be able to retire from your good government jobs of over 30 plus years. Come on. There are no circumstances. I'm going to jump. Trusting is believing in the promises of God in all circumstances. In all circumstances. Even in those where the evidence seems to be to the contrary. Even when what you're seeing, even when what things looks like, even when the facts are saying something contrary. Trusting is believing in the promises of God in all circumstances. Come hell, come high water, come low water, come no water at all. That's what trust look like. Trust does not look like everything is going well. It is so easy to say, I trust my spouse when they have not cheated on you. It is easy to say, I trust my wife when you can, your spouse, when it looks as if they are doing something contrary to what you believe. It is easy to say those things. But trust is, remember I gave you that example of the fall. You know how you have your friend or somebody stand in front of you and you're back there and they have to fall back and believe and trust that you are going to catch them. That's what trust look like. That's trust. I use the example of husbands, right? Husbands can say, oh, I trust my wife. Why? You can trust her because she's predictable. You can trust her because you know her schedule. You can trust her because she don't do anything. She don't go anywhere. All is well. She get up, she go to work, she drive the kids to school, grocery store. She may do a brunch or a lunch or a dinner date with her friends every now and again. But what happens if your wife, somebody call you and tell you that they seen your spouse out to dinner with a person of the opposite sex and they never mention anything to you? Come on, that same person that said, I trust. What happens when your spouse doesn't come home until 2 and 3 in the morning? Are you sleeping well at night? Are you resting in your mind? Or are you up pacing the floor? Are you up calling the emergency rooms and da da da? I mean, I get, if it's an emergency or you feel like, okay, something may have happened to them. No, if you know they at work and you know that their job is one that they interact or they got to go in different people's houses at different hours of the night, are you trusting? Are you resting? Come on. Do you trust them? So I'm telling you, we got to put our trust in God. I love this scripture. I think it's in Psalms. Psalms 57 and 11 says, in God I have put my trust. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? What can man do to me? What can man do to me? Yeah, they can break your heart. Yeah, they can lie. Yeah, they can do all the things that you are capable of doing yourself. They can do all the things that you have probably done to others, right? But when you put your trust in God, it pales in comparison. What man can do to you, it's like, I trust God. Even in the midst of my marriage falling to pieces, I trust God. But see, most of the time, people's trust in when things don't go right. You start not trusting God. You trust God when all your needs are met, but the minute a trial or tribulation come on, then you start questioning God. Then you start doubting God. He said in all circumstances, you can trust me. Even when the evidence, even when it don't look like it. Even when the evidence is contrary, seems to be to the contrary. Trusting is believing in the promises of God in all circumstances, even in those where the evidence seems to be the contrary. Come on. Your money says, in God we trust, but I'm asking you, do you? Do you trust God? Do you even know what that looks like? When all is crumbling down, when your world is being torn apart, when the rug is being pulled out from underneath you, when you get that pink slip on the job, will you trust him? Do you trust him? Is your trust conditional? Come on. This is when we need to reevaluate ourselves. We need to take a look. And I taught you guys last week about faith and trust. I want to go back over that because they go hand in hand. We were taught that last week that faith and trust goes hand in hand. Faith is believing, trusting, and acting as if something is true. Faith is believing, trusting, and acting as if something is true. Faith involves trusting in something you cannot explicitly prove. Faith is inseparable from trust. It is the confidence that God can and will do what he says in his word. Faith without trust is not faith. Come on, faith without trust is not faith. I want to go back to this example. Relationship between faith and trust, the trust fall. You have faith that your friend will catch you even though your back is turned to them. You believe they will not let you hit the ground. The act of falling, as the name of the exercise implies, is trust. The act of falling is trust. I need you guys to get that in your spirit. I need you guys to hear that with your heart. The act of falling is trust. When you don't have any money in your bank account, when your bills are due, are you going to trust God? Or are you going to put your trust in yourself? Or are you going to put your trust in your money and start doubting God because you think your money is bigger than your God? Come on, it's like at some point we're going to have to choose. We're going to have to pick a side. We're going to have to show what we're going to stand on. And I'm telling you, like I told you before, if you put your trust in that good government job and that job has been really good to you, it has been faithful, it has been long suffering, it has stood the test of time. Come on. And now your good old government job, your trustworthy friend, companion is now being taken away from you. And now you like, what am I going to do? Because most people identities are in what they do. You ask somebody, tell me about yourself. The first thing they're going to tell you is what they do. Oh, I'm a housewife. Oh, I work for a telecommunication company. Oh, I'm a doctor. Oh, I'm a billing specialist. Oh, I work in the emergency. They have lost their identity because their identity is caught up in what they do. And so I get it. When your job is being taken away from you, your identity, now you feel lost. You don't know what to do. I'm saying to you, put your trust in God because you've been putting your trust in others. You have been putting your trust in the government. You have been putting your trust in the world system. And I'm telling you that God, look, if you don't see the signs on the wall, if you don't see the writing in the sky, the world that we known is no longer, it's no more. Things are changing right before our eyes. And I'm telling you that the world system, the government system, everything that you have put your trust in, right? You believe that you have job security. You believe that you were going to retire. You believe that you needed age and time in order to retire. You believe them when they said the retirement age is what, 55 and older. I don't know. You believe them when they said, right? You believe all of these things. But guess what? God is true. He never changes. The world system will change. It'll evolve. Remember the dollar bill said, in God we trust. United States was built off of that. That's our motto. They said that our economic system and our political system, it was in the hands of God. And how they have drifted off from their own motto. They have drifted so far off from their own motto. And I'm here to tell you that God has a system. He has a plan for you that is undefeated, that is fail proof, that will never change. Come on. I think you guys should start getting excited about this. I gave my testimony last week on how I was in most of you guys' same shoes. I was very young. Before I was a housewife, I was a single mom of two sons, two small children. And I was working as an associate accountant for this major construction company. And they were getting rid of my whole department. And I would say that I probably was one of the most vulnerable ones. Everybody else were much older than me. There was one young lady that worked in my department. She was younger than I was, but she was living at home with her grandmother. She did not, have responsibilities as far as her bills were concerned. She didn't have car notes. She didn't have children. She didn't have any of those things. The other ladies, they were married. They had longer tenure. I didn't have any savings. I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I was the only one that was as cool as a cucumber because I decided that I was going to put my trust in God. That I was not going to allow this job, this company, this organization to have any control over my emotions or what was going to happen to me. I mean, people were devastated. They were panicking. And they were asking me, Tia, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to trust God. I got excited. I got excited about the unknown. I got excited about, okay, what will God do? I get to actually see God show up in my life because I didn't have any answers. I couldn't figure this one out. I couldn't get myself out of the situation. I couldn't put my trust in me. I had to put my trust in God. I said, okay, God, you got this one. You're going to have to lead and guide me. Come on. Proverbs. That took me to Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. I allow God to direct my path. I say, you know the plans that you have for me. See, up until this is what I'm saying to you guys. You can look at this or any situation that you deem to be unfavorable as an opportunity to do the word, as an opportunity to trust God, as an opportunity to remind God of his word, to remind him of his promises, to remind him of who he is and who you are in him. Come on, a believer. So this for me was an opportunity for me to, hey, let God be God. You have been God of your life for so long, Tia, and it's no need for you to try to figure this thing out. So I just sat back. I had rest. I had peace in the unknown, knowing that God is somebody that I can depend on and lean on and rely on, because I couldn't rely on this job up until now. I've been relying on this job to take care of me and my children. And at some point when this company changes their minds and say, hey, we can't do they're not considering me. They're looking out for their best interests. And so I've been relying on this job to take care of me and my children. And then they changed their mind and said, hey, we don't need you anymore. As a matter of fact, we don't need this whole division. We're getting rid of it. Come on. So I'm telling you that this is good news. This is good news. It was good news for me, and it's going to be good news for you, because we know that God is not a respecter of person. He is not. And what he did for me, he'll do for you. But all you got to do is operate in these same principles that work for anyone, anywhere, anytime, and under any circumstances. Come on, even when my husband cheated on me, 9 years into my marriage, I never would have thought that would have been my case. I never thought that would have been my story. And I had to put my trust in God. Come on, remember, trusting is that falling. When it seems like everything is falling apart, when it seems like, and mind you, I was a housewife. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had to put my trust in God even when it didn't look like I should be trusting God, because you guys know my testimony. God is the one who showed me who my husband was. I didn't go looking for him. He said, this is your husband. And so I'm thinking initially, okay, if God choose my spouse, it's going to be all peaches and cream. No, trials are sure to come. Well, you got to know that everything worked together for your good. I know I may seem like I'm jumping around, but I want you guys to get it. If we go and look at the story of Joseph, right? Everything works together for his good. And see, you got to understand that maybe some of these trials and tribulations are showing up so that you can assess where you are. So you can assess if your word is true. Do you really trust him? Because that's what this is all about. God knows the answer. He knows that he's trustworthy, but he's trying to get you to take introspect. He's trying to get you to look on the inward parts of yourself and answer this question honestly. Come on. Even when it don't look like I'm near you or you can't feel. There's been times in my life where I felt like God was so far away from me. But his word says that he will never leave me nor forsake me. So am I going to lean on my own understanding? Am I going to trust in what I feel, or am I going to trust his word? Have he not demonstrated to me time and time again that he is trustworthy? It's his character that I put my trust in. Oh, it's so much. Oh, I just hope you guys are getting it. We trust in the Lord because he and he alone is truly trustworthy. His word is trustworthy. That is Psalms 93 and 5, and you can look that up in Titus 1 and 9. It was something that I wanted to read to you guys. Come on. So we can trust in God. We can trust in him. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I wanted to go to Joseph. I want to take you through Joseph's life, right? And know that everything happened for a reason. Nothing was by surprise. There's no such thing as a coincidence, right? If you are really a believer and you really read your word, you will know that some of these words are man-made and they aren't even real. Coincidence isn't even real. That's not even a real word. There's no such thing. But here's just like a simple overview, a recount of the life of Jacob's favorite son, Joseph, who is sold into slavery by his jealous brothers. He rises to power in Egypt and ultimately saves his family from famine. Come on. So it can look like, it can be contrary. Joseph had a dream. I love God because he deals with the end at the beginning. So when he showed himself to Joseph, he showed himself in a dream and he told Joseph about all the promises. I'm telling you, I'm teaching. God will show you the whole kit and caboodle. He will show you all the promises, all the things, the land filled with milk and honey, right? Joseph had a dream that seems to indicate he will one day rule over his brothers. Come on. He had a dream that they were bowing down to him, even his parents, right? And so now you get the dream, you get the promise. All right, now we're going to go through this process. And the process doesn't look like what you think the process should look like. You can't even imagine how you're going to get to this expected end. All you know is you got a promise from God. All you know is you have a word from God. And I'm telling you, you better hold on to your hat and enjoy the ride because it's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's going to be one that is up and down, bumps and bruises, twists and turns. It is not going to look like, and see, that's what I'm saying. We as believers have become too comfortable and too complacent. I'm telling you, you go inside the four walls of the ministries that you attend, and they have everything laid out for you. Why? Because they want you to keep coming through those doors. They want you to keep giving them tithes. They want you to keep giving them offerings. Yeah, they going to teach you a thing or two. And not all ministries are the same. They not equal. But I'm saying for the most part, when you go through those four walls of those ministries, it is for you to experience right heaven right here on earth. You get greeters, you get people with signs, you get preferential treatment if you a first time visitor. Come on, they put you on the jumbotron. They put you on the jumbotron. They may even give you little gifts and trinkets and all of these things. You get to sit in these comfortable seats. You get sometimes, breakfast. They may serve you some breakfast. You can eat in the sanctuary now. They got lights, camera, actions. Come on, they got confetti spitting out. They got lights booming. They got it all. They they have gotten this thing down pat. And you are exempt from trials. You are so comfortable. You don't experience persecution in the Western civilization, the Western culture. You are used to just having everything at your disposal. You are not used to these trials because when the pandemic hits, we had people that died. We had people that lost their marriages. We had people that never came back in the four walls. And they've been going in there for years. For years. And didn't retain anything. Did not practice not one principle. Come on. So when God give you a promise, it is your job to hold on to the word, to hold on to the good news, come hell, high water, low water, to trust him even when you falling, even when it looks contrary. God, it's like, God, you said, you promised me. I thought that I was going to be this. Okay, there's a process. Let's look at Joseph. He was favored by his father. Joseph is Jacob's favorite son, a fact that fuels resentment among his brothers, who are jealous of the special coat Jacob gives him. Joseph has dreams that seem to indicate he will one day rule over his brothers, further exasperating their jealousy. betrayal and slavery. His brothers, driven by envy, sell Joseph into slavery, sending him to Egypt. I bet Joseph didn't see that coming. But did he still trust God? Are you going to still trust God when your relatives betray you? When your own brothers and sisters have hatred in their hearts for you? When they are jealous of you and they can't understand why are you the favored one? Are you going to lean to your own understanding and start acknowledging what you see? Or are you going to trust and have faith in God, who is the one that gave you the dream and the vision? And then Joseph rises to power in Egypt. Joseph finds favor with Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, but is later falsely accused and imprisoned. So here he goes from having this dream to now being sold into slavery, to now being favored by Potiphar, and then having Potiphar's wife accuse him of trying to sleep with her, and he ends up in prison. See how this roller coaster ride goes? Are you trusting God through the process? Or are you leaning to your own understanding? Are you acknowledging him in all your ways, even when you're in the pit? Or only when you're in the palace do you trust God? Is your trust circumstantial? Or are you fighting the good fight of faith? Are you committed to God? Or are you wavering? The Bible tells us that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, and they can't expect to receive anything from him. We got this term that we're using now that's 10 toes down. Are you 10 toes down in what you believe? Are you 10 toes down in his word? What can man do? What can the government do? What can your job do? What can your employer do? What can your spouse do? What can your children do? What can man do? You should not be afraid if you're putting your trust in God. And the way you know you're trusting God is if you're at rest. If your mind is at rest. If you stop trying to figure out how this is going to happen and how you're going to pay this and how you're going to get out of this, you say, I trust, I surrender. My life is not my own, it's yours. And I submit to your will and your way. If this is the way that you need me to go, come on, so I can show and tell the goodness of the Lord. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing a show and tell. I've been through it. I've been through the ups. I've been through the downs. I've been through the lean days. I've been through the fat days. I've been through the famine. I've been through the heartbreak. I've been through the betrayal. I've been through different friendships. I have trusted friends, and later to find out that they were doing sneaky snake-like things behind me. But God always revealed those things. He always revealed them to me. And just because a person show up in a negative way don't mean I stop trusting God. And it doesn't mean that I don't give the next person a chance. I recently opened myself up to having a friendship with somebody. And I'm telling you, I enjoyed that friendship because I'm somebody that can accept you for who you are. I want you to show up in your rawness. I listen and I don't judge. Because y'all know I got testimonies on how I overcame a 3-year jail sentence, how I overcame adultery in my marriage, so I listen and I don't judge. I don't. I love you and accept you for who you are. And even I see your red flags, your snake-like behavior, and I know you can't hurt me. I know you can't hurt me. I know you are operating out of ignorance. Because I'm telling you, and you can think I'm boasting or bragging, but I know that anybody that comes into my life gonna be blessed. And you should feel the same way. You should feel the same way. Anybody that come in my life gonna be blessed. Absolutely. But you better be honest with yourself if you know that they're not. And you better be honest with yourself when you see a good thing. You better try to hold on to it instead of sabotaging it. I know people don't know how to be in relationships. I know people have trust issues. I get that. I know what my assignment is as well. I know that I'm a teacher. And I know that God brings a lot of people in my path so that they can learn. But I'm also learning too. I know how to submit. I tell you guys all the time, submission is my superpower. I can get something good from anybody. From anybody. So I opened myself up to this friendship, right? And it went left. And the person cut me off, slam off, did not want to have a conversation, didn't give me an opportunity, for us to even just sit down. I had to take the opportunity, right? And then I said, okay, I see how this is going. And so it just opened up another door for another friendship. But I didn't say to myself, nah, I'm done with that. I can't trust people. Girls are catty. Girls do this. They slick, they that. I don't do that. You don't have to suffer the consequences for what somebody else did. Not this Tia, not this whole Tia. Now, back in the day, oh, the next person will pay the price. Usually not girls. I never felt that way about girls. It would be like in another relationship. I would carry a mistrust into another relationship with a guy. But I've never felt that way with girls. I'm a girl's girl. I love friendships. I do. They are so good for you. If you don't have friends, you need to go find some. Friendships are good because I understand that relationships are mirrors. They only gonna show you who you are. I mean, as well as who the other person is, but I like to see areas that I need improvement in. And I wouldn't see that outside of a relationship. So I'm telling you, that's a red flag. Ladies, if your guy that you like, if he doesn't have friend groups, that's a red flag because he doesn't allow himself to be checked by somebody else. They cannot clearly see themselves because relationships are mirrors. And so they choose not to be in relationships because they don't want accountability and they don't want to fix themselves. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. You're gonna be in for a wild ride. Trust me, you're gonna be in for a wild ride. So this opened up another door for me to start developing a friendship. And I'm telling you everything. You got to live by faith. And remember, faith and trust is closely related. You can't have one without the other. Right? And so this new friendship that I'm developing, I was the one that did something to betray or offend the other person. And so the person, called me up. We had a conversation about it. See, that's adult stuff. That's what the other relationship didn't allow. It didn't allow for a healthy confrontation. It didn't allow for us to have a meeting of the mind. It didn't allow for, us to have an understanding of, okay, what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. It didn't have, the opportunity for reconciliation. And so when it was brought to my attention of the infraction that occurred on my behalf, I quickly took ownership. I quickly took accountability for it. I quickly apologized. I did not justify my actions in any shape, form, or fashion. And so, that friend said to me, they said, well, I accept your apology. And I want you to know that I am not going to hold this over your head. I am not going to lay down at night and think about, oh, how, Tia hurt me or this happened to me. They said, I'm over with it. We talked about it. You owned it. And I forgive you. And we can move on. After that conversation, right? The thought came, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. I know what they said, but I'm about to just get out of this. I'm not even going to go through that. See what I'm saying? But I decided by faith, and I shared this with that person. I said, I had to trust what you said to me by faith. Y'all hear that? Trust by faith. Trust by faith. I had to trust that her words were true. Now, I don't have history with this person. I don't have, you know what I'm saying, to say, a pattern to say whether or not, I can believe what they say. I had to literally make a decision to trust by faith that that person's word was true. No different than God. I had to trust by faith that God's word is true. I had to trust by faith that her words was true, that it is over, it is done, they forgive me, and we can move on. But I've mastered this. No, the doubt came. The other word came, girl, cut your losses and get out of there. You gonna see they not gonna call you as much, or it's gonna be they're gonna be edited. They're not gonna be, as liberated as they were initially. Just cut your losses. I'm telling you that all of those things are gonna come up. But in the end, you gotta make a decision to trust God. And I trusted her. And I'm telling you, we picked up right back where we left off at. And when I tell you, we have a time. So, okay, let's go back. I pray y'all getting something. I do. I didn't really want to lean heavily on my notes. I want to share with you my testimony, my good news, what I do. I'm just as human as you guys are. I have been hurt. I have been offended. I have been betrayed. I have been backstabbed. I have been lied to. I have been cheated on. I have done some things to people myself. And I still put my trust in God, and I still can trust others. I don't put my trust in them, but I can still trust them. I can still believe them because they can't hurt me. If I put my trust in God, they can't hurt me. God will show it. He'll reveal it. And I believe that wasn't the only dream Joseph had. I believe that God prepared him for the persecution of his family. I do believe it because he's shown me things that were going to happen to me. He showed me or warned me about persecution. I may not have known who it was going to be, but I knew it was coming. So while in prison, Joseph interprets the dreams of Pharaoh's servants, which leads to his release and eventual appointment as the second in command in Egypt. Come on. So do you see what I'm saying? The adversity, the trial, the tribulation, where it may look like it's contrary to the promise, where it may look like your life is falling apart. Who would have thought he would have been in prison after he found favor with Pharaoh? But now there may have been some things on the inside of him that God needed to deal with in order for him to be promoted. See, you want the promotions, but you don't want to change. You want the promotion, but you want to forfeit the process. But the trust got to be from A to Z. You got to be committed to God. And see, maybe that's your problem. You got commitment issues. Not only do you have trust issues, you're not committed to anything. You go where the wind blows. You sign up for this. And when you see, I gave the analogy last week of when your child comes to you with their permission slip and they're ready for you to sign that permission slip for flag football, basketball, whatever sporting activity, because that's usually, band or whatever. My boys play football, so I'm going to lean more to the sports analogy, something that I know. But they come home and they're excited and they're saying it's open trials for football. I want to go. And then when they get there to football practice, they're running laps. They're doing suicides. Come on, they're running uphill. They're doing drills. They're doing everything but touching the football. Because at that age, they just want that uniform and that helmet and that mouthpiece. Them babies gonna have that outfit on around the house. They gonna be putting it on, hitting their head, putting their mouthpiece in. Yeah, the coach said we gotta dip it in water so it could. I want some bubble gum. Can you put? All that now. Don't put no bubble gum in your kids' mouthpiece. It's gonna give them cavities. Don't do that. But I'm saying to you, is that the process don't look like the promise. It doesn't look like them going on that field and catching an interception or running for the touchdown or scoring a field goal or getting the first down. Come on, but the process is grueling. The process is dirty. The process isn't glamorous. People quit before they get to the first game because they're not committed. It wasn't what they thought they signed up for. Okay, marriages. Some people quit. They say the first 7 to 9 years is the hardest. Most people don't make it past there. A lot of people that I know have been divorced after the 18 years. So it must be these 999s. Every 9 years, you might gonna get you a trial and tribulation that is designed to take you out, to get you out of your commitment, to go against your word of I do. Until death do us part. Y'all know we got an enemy out there. The enemy ain't gonna just let you live. The enemy not gonna just let you get the promise without any obstacles or oppositions, hurdles, trials. Why you think we get a testimony? You gotta go through something to get the testimony. Come on. So maybe these things are happening. It's not coincidence. It's not by happenstance. Come on. This is your process. If you were one of the lucky ones to get out of your job, to be free from a system that is designed to keep you where they want you, they cap your salary. You're only able to make a certain amount at a certain time. Come on, you've been delivered from that. You can look at it how you want to look at it, or you can look at it the way I'm telling you to look at it. That you've been freed and delivered. When I lost my job, when they restructured that organization, I became a housewife. I was delivered from working. I never worked a job in 22 years after that. That was my last job. Now my earning ability, my earning power is unlimited. It's only limited by me and my mindset and what I believe. Instead of being told that I can retire or can't retire. I can retire if I'm 55 and I've worked these many years. I can retire when I want. I can retire at 98. I can retire at 18. You understand what I'm saying? That's the kingdom system. While you're mad about your job telling you can't telework 5 days a week, everybody got to come back in. And now when God free you and deliver you from that, you mad. What does that sound like? The children of Israel, they complained to God about the Egyptians and how they enslaved them and the conditions that they had to live in. And the minute God delivered them from it all, they wanted to go back. They wanted to go back to what was familiar. And I'm telling you that life as you have known it is never going to be the same. You are entering into unfamiliar territory from here on out. And guess what else? You are going to have to trust God continuously, perpetually, forever. It doesn't stop. It does not end. This is what you got to sign up for. Because if you don't, you're going to live a reactive lifestyle instead of a proactive one. Instead of a one that you get to be in the driver's seat. You've been so used to people driving you and telling you to come to work at this time. You can go to lunch at this time. You can take 2 15-minute breaks at this time. You got to get permission to get your leave approved. You think that slavery has ended? You think slavery has ended? You're not free. You're not walking in freedom. You are afraid to make decisions. You are afraid to step out on faith. You are afraid of the consequences. You live every day in fear, and your life is in the hands of somebody else's. You know why I wanted to be a housewife? Because I never wanted to have to choose my job over my children. I never wanted to have to depend on the money that I made instead of being there for my kids. I wanted my children to take first priority in comparison to my job. That's why I embraced the idea of being a housewife. I wanted to raise my kids. I wanted to go to their schools. I wanted to be on their field trips. I wanted to help them study and tutor them. I wanted to be who they came home to. Because I wasn't going to let a job, I didn't want to have to choose between my children and my job. I did not want to do that. So I'm telling you, we can look at the life of Tia. We can look at the life of Joseph. But he was falsely accused and imprisoned. And then while in prison, Joseph interprets the dreams of Pharaoh's servants, which leads to his release and eventually appointment as the second in command in Egypt. Joseph's foresight in preparing for a famine allows Egypt to survive, and he later uses his position to save his family and others from starvation. Now, can you imagine being promoted to such a prominent position of second in command and you still harboring resentment towards your family? God had to deliver him from all of that. You can't do God's assignment not loving people. You can't do God's assignment not trusting people. You can't do God's assignment. I'm telling you what I know. He had to teach me how to love unconditionally, because I'd have been gave up on my marriage. But my marriage had a purpose, and my marriage had a plan, and I was committed to seeing it through. It had nothing to do with love. I'm going to be honest. It had nothing to do with love. It had everything to do with my purpose, me and my husband's purpose. We needed something bigger than ourselves to be committed to each other. But I did this even before I got married. I never desired to be anybody's wife. I was in a relationship with my two older children's father for 8 years. And I've never talked to him about marriage. We've never had that conversation. We've never had that discussion. All I wanted him to be is in their lives. I grew up with a dad, and I wanted my children to grow up with their dad, both of their parents. I grew up in a two-parent household, and I just thought that even if we went our separate ways, we will continue to co-parent these children well. And I'm saying not where he gets them this week and no, together we were going to parent these kids. And so I chose something bigger than me. My children needing a father in their lives over me wanting to be somebody's wife. That was the reason why I got married, so that my children can have a father in the home, because their biological father forfeited for whatever reason. But I was like, oh no, my children will have a father, even if I sacrifice me. I needed something bigger than me, which were my children. And even in my marriage, I needed something bigger than me for me not to forfeit all the promises that God has shown me and my husband. They would have went out of the window. And I'm here to tell you, I haven't even seen the promises yet. I haven't even seen them. God told me and my husband, sell your home, sell your house. Sell that nice 5-bedroom, 5.5 bathroom with a loft in the best neighborhood, the best community that I've ever lived in. And I'm currently living in a 2.5 bedroom, a 2.5 bedroom, 2 bathroom apartment by faith. Because I'm committed to see what God has in store for me. I don't have a clue. But I'm committed and I trust him. Come on, I hope you guys are hearing me. It doesn't look like trust isn't what you think it is. Neither is love, but that's another topic. Come on, so Joseph eventually reveals his identity to his brothers, who are shocked but eventually reconcile with him. The story of Joseph explores themes of jealousy, betrayal, forgiveness, reconciliation, and God's plan for his people. I'm Tia Williams, and I hope you guys enjoyed Tea Time with Tia. I did. So be blessed. Next week, you guys, I am going to talk about, I already got my topics, the word's way versus the world's way. The word's way, God's way, versus the world's way. He's given me 2 weeks to teach on this topic, and I am excited. And then right after that, I'm going to teach on, do you have a purpose or are you a process? That's going to be good. I have no clue how I'm going to teach it, but I trust God. I believe God. I trust him and I believe him. All right, you guys. This was amazing. This stirred me up. You got to remember, come on, faith. It just builds your trust. Every time you move in faith, you walk by faith, you live by faith, right? It's like that chair that you sit in. You have faith that chair is going to be sturdy, but you show your trust by sitting in it. And so after time, you build up that trust in that chair because it's been proven. It's been proven. That's my relationship with God. He's proven. So he can ask me to do the wildest things, and I'm going to do it because I trust him and I believe in him and I put my trust in him. All right, you guys, this was amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed Tea Time with Tia. Make sure that you hit the share button. Make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you watch the replay. I'm going to repost this at 7 p.m. today. I pray I can remember it. Come out and support Glade Adams and Tia's Closet today at 7 at Fitness Motivators. I want to say 7860 Central Avenues. That they consider that Hyattsville, Maryland, but it's right in between Hampton Park Mall and Addison Road Subway Station. That little mini mall that's to the right if you're headed towards DC. All right, you guys, be blessed and have a great day. Hit the share button. No comments? No comments.